mean velocity field plus rho uj dou u I by dou xj by dou xj is equal to minus dou p by dou xi, where p is the average pressure xi, plus it'll come like this. If you, I know I didn't derive this, but I mean, I went through the steps, but I didn't solve it myself. I didn't write it there, so that you can do that. It's just at 2 or 3 steps. So dou by dou xj of, it will come like this. Dou by dou xj of 2 mu Sij minus rho ui prime uj prime bar closed. Okay, so like this. So this fellow is known as the Reynolds stress. Reynolds stress. This minus also included. The minus rho ui prime uj prime is known as the Reynolds stress. This is, so basically, and this is the mean strain. So what is this? This is half dou ui by dou xj plus dou uj by dou xi. This is known as a mean strain. Mean strain. So this is the mean strain. Mu is the dynamic viscosity, and this is the Reynolds stress. So what you have in the Reynolds average Navier-Stokes equation, what you have as an additional is basically this term. Just wanted to highlight that term. Oh, okay.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in mean strain, del u I by del x j, or it is I?
No, J. Tell me what will happen if it is dou xi? Something will happen. What is it?
It will become equal to 0.
Yes. Dou ui by dou xi is always equal to 0. There is no such term, means there is no such value. There is no value for it. It's 0. So it's dou ui by dou xj plus dou uj by dou xi. That is the mean strain. And as you can see, I just changed this thing for. So this is kind of looks like very much like the Newton's law of viscosity. You know, you have seen that. What we call as Newtonian fluids and non-Newtonian fluids. So this is basically that, something like that only. So the stress has become this thing, but one new term has come up, that is this minus rho ui prime uj prime. This new term is what comes from turbulence. This is just due to turbulence. That is why this prime, this prime. So this fellow is fully due to turbulence, and that is known as a Reynolds stress. So Reynolds stress comes up in the Reynolds average Navier-Stokes equation, which this is therefore known as the Rans equation, usually written as Rans, say like Rans, like this. Reynolds average Navier-Stokes equations. Okay. Now comes a little bit of tedious work, which usually what I used to do was to give the work to students, but that again is not possible. Teaching has to be changed a lot. So what we'll do is I'll do the problem in this whole thing myself, and um, I'll do one thing. Tomorrow I'll put a test for 1 hour. Okay. I hope all of you are listening. So tomorrow I'll put a test for 1 hour. It will be a writing type. I last time I did the choose the correct answer, but that is all completely you people copy and it is a mess. So I'll make it a written test. I'll give you the question paper and 1 hour you write. It is about the basics of turbulence. By that time I should have completed most of the stuff and you should be able to do it. You can look at the text, of course, but that's all. Okay, you cannot copy from each other. You hopefully should. So that is so you have all got it, no? tomorrow. It's a 2 o'clock, 2 to 3 test. Okay. Then what was I doing? Yeah. So what we have to do now, we'll do some examples. Let us see. I will show you. Take a this thing, what is it, a snapshot of it and then put it up as JPEG. That is also okay if you submit it, but I would prefer it you write it in a Word file and submit it. Otherwise you take a photo and put, that is also okay. Submit it. So I'll put some marks, I'll divide marks, that I'll tell you later. For the time being, this tomorrow's exam may carry about 20 marks or something, 20 marks. Okay. So what I was thinking of next is we have to do a little bit. You have to, I am pretty sure many of you are having problems with this Reynolds, what we call as we have talked about Reynolds decomposition and Reynolds decomposition and the corresponding calculations, the calculations dealing with. So let us do one or two problems related to that. I'll tell you one. One problem is like this. You are told that just tell me if one step is missing from UI prime. You're asked to simplify P. I'll tell you what each term means, or if you are confused about what it is. P comma I bar. Okay. You're asked to simplify this thing. Now this is fluctuating. This is the total pressure. This is fluctuating velocity, and this is the total pressure again. Total pressure means the instantaneous value of pressure. So whenever you get a problem like this, okay, this is the type of problems that you will have. Whenever you get a problem like this, what you first do is you decompose you look into it for the instantaneous values. This is an instantaneous value. This is an instantaneous value. So what you do first is this will become UI prime. Now, what is the meaning of this? This means dou P by dou xj. Okay, this comma means by that. I mean dou by dou that. Dou by dou xj. If you put here t, it means dou P by dou t. If you put dou P comma j, it means dou P by dou xj. So this becomes ui prime Pij P comma j plus P prime comma j, like this. I just rewrote this. UI prime is like that, and this is an instantaneous value which has been decomposed into a pressure, total pressure value, and as a fluctuating pressure value, plus the second term. As you know, this is a summation, so this can be divided, this value and this value can be divided. So I replace it by uj prime P comma j plus P prime comma j, like this, and this is within the brackets. Okay. So now what do we have? Now how will we do this? This will become, this is equal to, from here, ui prime P comma j plus ui prime P prime comma j, like this, plus the second term. Point writing it as it's similar to this. So this is equal to, now this will become, what will this become? Now P, I'll tell you first, let me write what that term is. In case anybody is not really clear what that term is, the term is this. Okay, this is what that term is. This comma j means dou p by dou xj plus ui prime, okay, into dou p prime. This is the fluctuating value, and this is the, so this is the fluctuating value and this is the mean value. So it's written in this fashion. Then as you know, we can split this total this thing into two parts, one here and one here. So this will become equal to ui prime dou p by dou xj plus,
Sir,
yeah,
sir, there'll be a part of uj also.
this one, right? Yeah, of course it'll be there. Yeah, plus like that, plus ui prime dou p prime by dou xj, like this, plus that part about u prime uj. This whole term I haven't written. Actually, let me do one thing. That's okay. So basically that plus this term. Now what is this? What is this term? Do you know? This is the part which is a little confusing probably, but you see that this P is actually a total pressure. Okay, this P is actually, sorry, this P is a mean pressure. Okay, we divided it like this, P plus P prime. So P is the mean pressure. So this dou P by dou xj, where P is the mean pressure, is a mean quantity. Dou P by dou xj is a mean quantity. So there is a mean quantity and there is a fluctuating quantity. Now, as I told you before, mean quantity does not have a mean. Mean quantity is mean is itself. Mean is the same thing. So this can be written as dou P by dou xj into ui prime plus ui prime dou p prime plus dou x, what is that? Is it I or j? Dou x j, dou x j power plus this term, whatever is there in uj, this whole term comes here. So what is this? This is difficult. You have forgotten, no? I think it's been, what is it, 1 week now since we did this derivations. So I think you have forgotten. So what is this? What is this? This is the mean of a fluctuating quantity. Do you remember that? I told you mean of a fluctuating quantity is 0. I'm going to write it here in big so that hopefully
Yes,
you never.
so the mean of the perturbations.
Yes, mean of the fluctuating quantity, mean of the perturbations. This is actually a mean of the perturbations. Very bold, very big thing. I'll write it here. Mean of a fluctuating quantity is 0. Okay. Mean of a fluctuating quantity is 0. So this term is actually equal to 0, which means this is multiplied by 0. So this term goes. So, but this one is the product of two fluctuating quantities. This is a fluctuating quantity. This is a fluctuating quantity. So this, you cannot do any more simplification. That's all. So you leave it there. You will have to do the same thing with the respect to the second thing too. I am going to give that to you right now. Tell me what you get from the second part. You do it now, at least one person tell me what you get for the second part when you simplify in the same fashion. No response. So is it that difficult, or okay, at least one person should be able to do it now? You can
Sir,
just
please
look at
repeat
it.
the question again.
uj
See,
del pi upon del x
del
prime.
del xi.
Del x.
Very good. Xi.
Yes.
Yeah, that is what it means. That's what it comes to. That is, we are doing this one. This will come down to, you don't have, actually you don't have to do it. You can just look at this and tell what it will be. It will become uj prime dou p prime by dou xi bar. This is what this thing will come to. So you will have, as you can see here, a sum total of this plus this in the final term, because the other two terms will become zero. So it will be, the term will be ui prime dou p prime by dou xj plus uj prime dou p prime by dou xi, the whole bar. That will be the answer to this question. That is the completely, what is it called? Completely, when you break it down completely into the individual components, this is what it will come up as. So this is the, now let us look at some, let us do two or three problems before you, so that you get some idea of what I'm trying to say here. I think many of you are, this Reynolds decomposition, some people actually get confused between the differential and this thing. What is it? The variable quantity. I'll tell you. Suppose you have differential of a thing. Differential of a thing means it's the variability. Okay, it means how it deterministically varies. This differentiation is all about deterministic variation. Okay, deterministic. Whereas this u prime, when you have that prime, that, so what is the difference between that u prime and that dou by dou x of something? So dou by dou x is deterministic variability, means it how it changes in a deterministic linear fashion. But when you consider the u prime, that prime is varying, is it's not a deterministic variation, it is a chaotic variation. So that way, that variation of fluctuating quantity is different from the variation of differentiation. Okay, differential, that variation and the variation due to the chaotic fluctuations are different. This, so sometimes it's that's why sometimes it becomes confusing when you have both this differential and the other thing and the u prime together with it, and they ask me how should we deal with these two when they come together. This is how you deal with it. One is, they are two different things, it's completely different. Okay, okay, now let us do one or two more problems and then we can go on to the next section. So one more problem. This problem says, so also it's a slightly more involved, I think. It says that ui prime rho uj comma t plus uj prime rho ui t. Okay, this is the problem. So you are asked to simplify this expression. So what is the
Sir,
we'll what is
sir,
it?
one point of confusion. Yes, sir.
Ah,
One point of confusion is that like what is a fluctuating component and what is mean
ah,
component and what is in, so
yeah, yeah.
all like same.
True, true, true. That is a good question. That is a good point. That basically, as if you look at different books means any turbulence book, every book will have its own way of writing. It's some write it. Some what they do is they put the mean quantities as a bold, fluctuating quantities as a small, the non-bold common this thing. Some people put U as capital and the other one as small. Some people write the U as it is and the other one as in the italics, italicized and format. So what you could do is like what you did now. You ask if it is an exam, you ask the invigilator what it is, or in case of a book, it should be written on it. Somewhere it will be written what is the fluctuating, what is the mean, and what is. So in this case, since you asked me, so I am telling this: when you get a prime, it means a fluctuating. When you get a this thing, with a small without any prime, that is the instantaneous, means total. And if you have a capital one, that is the mean value. For this problem only, as I told you, it varies. It completely varies. Every book is different. So this for this problem alone, or for one or two of the problems that are coming up also in our derivation, we will do it like this. This when you put a prime over it, it means fluctuating. That is the smallest component. Then this is the total, and when you have a U capital, that is the mean value. So for our purpose, that is how it is. Okay, now what is this? How do we reduce this? Let us take the first quantity, this one. What you always do when you get this, the main thing you will have to do is to split the total quantity or the fluctuating, the instantaneous quantity. The total quantity is the instantaneous quantity. Okay, so the total quantity or the instantaneous quantity, you convert it into, you do Reynolds decomposition on it. You say it is mean plus fluctuating. That is always the way you start this problem. So here it will become I'm just writing the first quantity. The second one, I'll put it like this. This one, actually, you can see they are symmetrical. It's just I and j replaced. So if that is another advantage of tensors really. When you do this, this one, you really have to do only this. And then when you replace I and j, you will get this. Because everything is same. By t, this is I became j, this I became this j. So it's, if in the final answer also, if you just replace I and j from this problem, you will get this one. So let us just do this. So this one will become, and of course above this there is a Reynolds averaging. So so I hope you now know what this is. This is dou by dou t of this whole thing. Let's look at this. Let us expand this further. Okay, is that right or is that wrong? There is a mistake in that. What is that mistake? It'll be nice if you can tell me. I have this written. It looks okay, but there is one mistake in it.
Sir, bar, there was a bar.
That is there, and that's not the mistake. That is there. Yeah, there is a serious mistake in it, not just missing a bar. So when you write this, Is this the same as this?
dash is not
No, sir.
What is
That
it?
was in derivative part, and that was not in derivative.
What is that?
Sir, outside UI
Ah,
prime is
yes,
a
yes,
fluctuating.
exactly.
It is not.
Exactly, correct. This ui prime is not by t. So this ui prime here is by t also. So this is not correct. I hope you understood. This ui prime is outside the t. This t comma t is dou by dou t. It is dou by dou t of this. So this is basically, I'll write it in the way we can clearly. Okay, I'll write it here. I'll write in a different color. So this will become ui prime dou by dou t of rho uj plus rho uj prime. And this. That is what this term is. Now, what is, now let us see. You can see already what it will go to. So I'll put it like this. Plus like this. Is that okay? Oh, there is a dou by dou t. Okay, like this. Okay. Now what is this? Is it difficult? What is this? This term. See, when you do a differential, okay, you do not make what should I say? You do not make it fluctuating or anything. That's why I was told you differential is not the same as fluctuating. So what this is actually a mean value. Uj is a mean value. Okay. So that means dou by dou t of uj is also a mean. Just by doing a differential, you do not change the variable from a mean value to a fluctuating or an instantaneous value. That is a different process. That is a different type of flow. The turbulent chaotic flow is different. So that has nothing to, differential is not that. So this, if this is mean, this whole thing is also some mean. It's not the same mean, but it is also some mean quantity. So that means this is a mean quantity. Whenever there is a mean quantity, you can take, this is Reynolds averaging. Reynolds averaging means an averaging not of differentials. It is an averaging of the chaotic behavior of particles, or it is an averaging of these kind of things fluctuating. This fellow is an averaging of the fluctuating. So basically, this is a mean quantity. Mean quantity is not affected by the averaging. The mean of an average is the mean itself. So mean is a constant as far as an averaging is concerned. So when you have an averaging like this is a constant. So this is a constant. So this can be taken outside like this. It becomes like this. Plus this will become Jo uj prime. So what is
Sir,
this now? Yeah.
sir, here del by del t into rho
Yeah.
uj is a constant, sir, and we are taking the derivative. Then it should be 0.
No. Oh. It can be, I'll tell you what it is. Um, I'll tell you why it is not taken as 0, though you will see a small section. There's a small section on it. The question is good. There's a small section on this question in the book Tenekes and Lumley. I'll tell you why, what it is. Now, suppose you have a quantity like this, okay? This is a completely fluctuating quantity, and this has basically a mean like this, a mean. Now you did a mean of this for 10 minutes. Then basically after that you have another fluctuating part. It is the same signal, but it's changing like this. And here the mean is so much. So what, when you draw the mean alone, okay, it will be something like this. You understand?
Yes, sir, I got it.
Yeah. So when you have a mean like this, you can have a derivative of that. That is actually, that is a good question. That part is there in Tanakis and Lamley, a small region. But what they are saying is that for beginners of turbulence, it is, if you it doesn't matter if you choose the constant as 0. It because otherwise you are dealing with a time varying mean, which becomes a little painful. Actually, as you do mathematics, you'll see time varying mean will, but varying time is mean is there. It can vary like this. It varies in this fashion into in a mean. The mean can keep on changing. In intervals, mean will keep on changing, and there will be a dou u by dou t. T can be there. So this is what that is, and this one becomes 0. Okay, this is without doubt always this thing is taken as 0. So and then you are only left with this section. Okay, so where did we? So we were doing this ui prime dou by dou t of rho uj prime, something like this. Okay, mean is there. Mean is there. So it comes like this. So this is the you cannot reduce this any further. So, but you can do. But now remember, when I gave you the problem, there was a second part to that problem. We put like this, no, something. That term is actually the I and j I and j interchanged as it is given in this. Whatever it is here, it's I and j interchanged is the second term. So that term was actually will become uj prime dou by dou t of rho ui prime. So now what is this? Can you, so the total term becomes like this. So what is this? This is actually equal to dou by dou t of rho ui prime uj prime bar, isn't it? Differentiation by parts. This into differential of this plus this into differential of this is equal to the differential of the product of the two of them. So dou by dou t of rho ui prime uj prime. This is the term. So this is the answer. So basically, you know that rho ui prime uj prime is equal to minus tau ij, where tau ij is the Reynolds stress. Reynolds stress. So this is by dou t of tau ij. This is the answer to the question. To the whole derivation, that whole thing has been replaced to this, which basically is written as minus tau ij comma t. So this is the answer. Now there is a very lengthy one also in this. I think we will do that. By that time you will I'll also have headache doing this. It's a long, very long expression. Let us do it slowly. It's a whole thing. It's a very long term. I don't know if the space in this board will help us do that. So this is the answer. Okay, this is the final answer to this question. Then it goes like this. Rho ui prime. But I think if we do this, I'll stop with, I'll stop this Reynolds averaging with this, because this, okay. This is actually comprehensive. This will be able to explain to you what are the, by now, hopefully, at least those who are listening properly would have figured out by now what we are doing. UK, it is a U j comma k, uk uj comma k plus rho uj prime uk do ui comma k, I think again, comma k, like this. It's a slightly painful exercise, but let us do this slowly. Different aspects of the, so this is this thing, okay, the bar over the whole thing. So basically what you have here is this whole thing. Oh, before I do this, I'll explain one more thing. In turbulence, previously when we derived what we called as the Rans equation. Okay, we saw that when we were trying to find a find an equation for ui, okay, means this is the mean quantity. When you are trying to find a solution for ui, or when you are trying to get an equation for ui from the Navier-Stokes equation, Reynolds average Navier-Stokes equation came up, and this Reynolds average Navier-Stokes equation, on the right hand side you had a term like this that came up. This you should remember. This comes up usually in the Navier-Stokes equation, the right hand side. This comes up from this when you are trying to find. So basically, this is known as, these are known as the first moment, and this is known as a second moment. Okay, because there are two fluctuating quantities called second moment, and this has just one quantity. It's not even a first moment. It's just a mean quantity. So when you're trying to find a mean quantity, on the right hand side, you come up with what is known as a second moment. This is a second moment. Okay, so we have to now solve for the second moment. Now I am not doing it, but if you try to solve for the second moment, okay, when you try to solve for the second moment like this, you will come up with an equation like this. Okay, and some terms and all that. And on the right hand side, you will see that you come up with an equation, you come up with a term like this. Ui prime, uj prime, uk prime, which is a third moment. So we tried to get an equation for a second moment, and you ended up with a third moment. Okay, so second moment produces a third moment. Similarly, if you try to find an equation for the third moment, you'll get a fourth moment, and this continues. So what the problem is, this is a problem in turbulence. When you are trying to find an equation for the first moment, you get a second moment. So now how do we get the second moment? We have to have some equation for second moment. When you try to find an equation for the second moment, a third moment comes up, and it goes like this. This problem is known as a closure problem, CLOSURE, closure problem of turbulence. You are not able to close the equations. This is the closure problem of turbulence. It's quite famous. It's generally a thing that people keep talking about. It's known as a closure problem of turbulence. So this is that 2 will produce 3, 3 will produce 4, and it goes on like this. This is not a problem associated with turbulence alone. It's a problem in many branches of mathematics. They're all, it's known as a closure problem. So this is a closure problem of turbulence, like that. Now, so this is why you see here third moment has come up. There is a third moment here. So let us see how to deal with this. That is why I said this one is a little painful, but by the end of that you should get some idea of what I'm doing here. Okay, so let us just take the first term, this one, rho ui prime uk uj comma k. So I am taking this term. So this term will remain, that plus this plus that term. As you know, the mean can be divided. So this plus this. So I am keeping that away for the time being. So let us take a look at this. Now, as you can see, there is a fluctuating term. There is a there is a there is an instantaneous term, there is a total term, and another instantaneous term, total term. So let us rewrite it as, there is no other way. You have to go through the tedious process. Oh, sorry. So this is ui prime remains as such. So this is uk, which is equal to this is ui prime, uk is equal to uk plus uk prime into uj plus uj prime comma k. It comes like this. As I said, slightly painful, but let's take a look at this. Let us go ahead. So this will become rho ui prime. You will have to expand it. There is no other way. Okay. So this will be uk ujk plus uk uj prime k plus uj uk prime uj comma k plus uj. Did I write it right? Yeah, I think uj prime uk prime, no, uk prime uj prime k, like this. Okay, so this is equal to rho, and there is a bar over the whole thing, this thing, into uk uj comma k plus uk uj. I'll just write this again. I just want to get it clear in my mind itself. Into uj comma k uk prime plus uk prime into uj prime comma k. Okay, now this is equal to, now I am going to ask you, how will we handle the first term, this term? How will we handle this term? Not that difficult. I already told you. This is a mean quantity. Okay. This is another mean quantity. And this is UK is a mean quantity. And don't get frightened and all if it's I am, since you are not responding, I am assuming you are getting confused here. So don't worry, this is not how the course is going to be, a whole course, but this part is a little vague. As I told you, it's little strange. So it'll be something you haven't done. So might be a little difficult to follow suddenly. But as I told you, tomorrow I'll ask some questions. 1 hour I'll ask some theory questions, and that will be the only part you have to study for this. Second, next will later we'll go into discretization. After this, I'll do turbulence modeling. So after doing turbulence modeling, I'll probably put another test, and then we'll do discretization, and that is the post midsem portion. Usually you have a midsem in between. So this plus the next session will be midsem, up to midsem. Okay. So rho ui prime. So this is what I was asking. What is this? Now, as you can see, this is a mean quantity. This is a mean quantity. This is a mean quantity. So the product is also a mean quantity. Sometimes I have used the word constant. It's a constant quantity. Okay. And it is multiplied by a flux. So it's basically equal to this. I think there is a row, no? So there is a row here. There is a row here.
Sir, UI prime all is also there.
Yes, there is a UI prime also here, right? You're right. Oh, I'll just write it here. UI prime. There is a UI prime, and there is a UI prime for this also. Okay, now I'll rub the top part. I'll rub this much. Okay, now let us write in different color probably. So the first one, what is this? It's the easiest one of the lot, no? It's very simple. See, this UK is a mean constant value. UJ comma, it is a 0 because this is a mean quantity. This whole thing is a mean quantity. So the mean quantity can always be taken out of an average. You take this average row you assume to be a constant. Okay, we are not having any row variation. So you take the row outside, it becomes average of a fluctuating quantity. Average of a fluctuating quantity is 0. So this expression is 0. So this thing is totally coming up to 0. So you have only three terms from the other things. So rho into ui prime into uj prime comma k, that uj prime comma k, correct, into uk, that is a mean, plus rho ui prime into uk prime into uj comma k, another bar, plus rho uk prime, before that, okay, ui prime uk prime uj prime comma k, like this. So the main now uk into ui uj, yeah. U rho ui prime uk uj prime k, okay, that is correct. This is correct. And the second, there is a second term also, okay, there is, which we haven't written, that comes here, okay, that is okay. So let us see what this becomes. So rho, just tell me if this is okay, uk into, this is the interesting thing. Is it ui prime? ui prime uj prime, what is this? So this will become, according to this book, let me see, the thing is they have skipped steps and they have written, so it becomes a little difficult to follow what exactly is, how they came up to the second step. But let us see, I'll write it and then you tell me how it came. So this becomes ui prime uj prime comma k plus, let us see how it came, ui prime uj prime comma k plus yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what they have. Okay, that's not it. Okay, let's see. Plus rho uk into ui prime uj prime comma k plus rho ui prime. I'll write this and then let us see how it came about. Ujk plus r plus rho. So I'll tell you how it came. Now, for those who have written the whole thing, you have the whole, means whatever I have written from the beginning. If you have it in a notebook, there was a section which I deleted. Okay, so this one is, there was a small part, a second one in this which we deleted. So this one will come like this: rho ui prime uj comma k uk. Okay, this is the term, and in that deleted thing you will get rho ui prime comma k uj prime into uk. Do you get it? Just look back into the derivation and tell me if you get it.
Yes, sir.
You will get it. Okay, it should come. So if it is there, then you have ui prime comma k uj prime plus ui prime uj prime comma k. So what is it? It's like this. I'm sure I'm confusing most of you, but still I have no other way. This subsection is like this. It's plus like this. Okay, it is like this actually. So what this is actually equal to, you understand? I hope that is combining. So they have combined the two expressions, and that's how this came. Okay, this
Sir,
term, yeah, and UK must be the same in both. UK will be coming in both. So once you combine the two, you will get this as this plus a UK. Of course, UK, and there will be a row. You will get an expression like this. This is how you get the first expression. Okay, so that is the first expression, and similarly, by you can see this. So this, that is why I said this is a very long expression. You cannot write the whole thing here also. So the next term is this one: rho ui prime uk prime uj comma k. Now what does this become? For the second one, it is rho it must be rho ui uj prime uk prime ui comma k. This must be the deleted term. It's a symmetric. The whole two things are symmetric. So I'm just guessing that this is how it should be. It must be so uj prime. So what does this become? You can take this. Is how will we combine these two? I don't think you can combine. No, you'll just have to write it as. Is this what it comes? Just check it and see. Let me see. Let's just. Okay, now this is the second term that we have to deal with. Let us look at that problem. Let us look at this one. So this one is over. Okay, this is how you simplify the first the first term of the first. I mean the first term of the first expression and the second expression. So the first terms have been combined, and this together produces this thing. So this is over. So this I'll remove. So this one now, rho ui prime UK prime bar uj comma k. Now let's see, rho ui prime UK prime uj comma k. All right, it's correct only. And the other term is, then from the second expression, the term is rho uj prime UK prime ui comma k, like this. Okay, this is the second term. Now what did they do to it? Nothing much. They have just written it like this. this cannot be simplified any further. So what we can do to this is we can just this expression. Okay, this one alone can be written as this is minus tau I k uj comma k minus tau j k ui comma k. I hope it's clear what this is. No, is it clear? Or it's like this: tau ij equals minus rho ui prime uj prime. Tau ik equals minus rho ui prime uk prime. This is tensorial. This is just a tensor. If you replace j with k, you get j with k. You replace the j with k on the right hand side also. Similarly, tau jk equals minus rho uj prime uk prime, like this. So this
Sir, this is Cauchy's stress tensor.
Cauchy's.
So is this Cauchy's stress tensor?
I don't know what is a Cauchy stress tensor. I know what is a stress tensor, but Cauchy stress tensor I haven't heard. It's not. It's is it from the strength? This thing is Cauchy stress tensor and all probably comes in the structural things. No, I think I don't know. I haven't heard of Cauchy stress tensor. It's not used in turbulence at least. This Cauchy had no relationship with turbulence. But he could have had relationship with tensor. So it must be something in the tensorial notation. So
Yes, sir, maybe tensor notation
yeah,
has
he must
related.
have done some contribution in the tensor notation, that mathematics. So maybe it is a Cauchy stress tensor, but this is basically called as a stress tensor. So this is tau ik is equal to minus rho ui prime. So this is what this is. So ui prime uk prime is replaced here with, and this minus there, that minus came here, minus tau ik stress tensor. You have a stress tensor tau ij plus uj comma k plus this will be this. So this is the second term. This is how you do the second term. So this is how you simplify. So we have now simplified one term, second term. Now one more term is there that I don't think there is much you can do about it. I think let us see. Let me go to that last term. Okay, so let us see what this is. So we have here rho uk prime ui prime uj prime k. Okay, this one. Now what did they do to it? Basically, okay, there's only one. We can do it like this. This is equal to we can write it as rho do. I'll write it as, let me just write it first as a term which will be clear to you. Rho, this term is okay, ui prime uj prime. Okay, this is the term. For me also this is easier. So do you, so this becomes, this is equal to like this it came. And if you remember, okay, there was a second term like these two also, there would be a second term for this also. Second, in the second expression, that would be just the complementary of this. It must be like this. This you have to do, please. I think you should at least do this, just go through it. You don't have to by heart anything, but just go through because I haven't done the second part, but it will be like this only. So this is the term. This is the term in the first expression, and in the second expression, this will come along. So this is basically equal to this. There is a very easy way, it's very interesting also the way in which you can do this. This is, I tell you, this is equal to rho Now, do you think this is true? This plus this, is it equal to this? What do you think? Actually, what will happen is,
Sir,
if you put
sir, UK
yes,
prime should be out of the derivative.
good. It's not what you said is not correct, but you got the correct thing in a way. I mean, means what it means is that it is like this. It will look as if the UK prime is not satisfied, isn't it? There is no, so this term, I'll tell you, this term is missing. Rho UI prime, UJ prime. This is missing, isn't it? In this, right? It is. This is missing. So what is this? This is something you have to remember. When you do calculations, you have to remember that always when both of them are same, okay, the numerator and the denominator, k by k, when it comes, it's like having I by I or j by j, and it is equal to the continuity equation. Continuity equation is satisfied for the instantaneous field, it is satisfied for the mean field, and it is satisfied for the fluctuating field. This is a fluctuating field, and it's the continuity equation for the fluctuating field, and dou uk prime by dou xk, this is equal to, this is basically equal to 0. Clear? So once this is equal to 0, then your equation becomes this. That last term becomes this. That's all. This is the simplification of that whole thing. So this is what you get. Slightly painful, but I think you can do it. Now let us proceed. This is just some few problems done so that you get some idea about the tensor. Tensors, to be very frank, I also haven't done a mathematical course in tensor fully, except what I did in the undergraduate. But this is very, and to do turbulence, you don't need that much of tensorial knowledge. Tensors is a very vast field. They do all kinds of, this topology and all that using tensors. So that and all, we don't require. We just need the basics of tensors, but it makes a huge difference really when you're doing by tensors. See, this whole expression is reduced to just like reduced to just some 2 or 3 terms, and differentiation is reduced to some comma t. Everything becomes very simple. So when you read a paper, long paper, you won't get totally bogged down by so many dou by dou xj, dou by dou xk like that. It becomes much easier to go through this. So this tensor, at least this much you should know. If you are interested, you learn more about tensors. That will help you somewhere, I'm sure. If you are going into research field, tensors come there only mostly. So this is the thing. Now let us go into the subject again.
Sir,
No more, enough of mathematics for the time being.
sir,
Yeah.
sir, in tensors we use subscript I, J, K. What is the meaning of this?
Actually, I'll tell you the meaning only in terms of fluid mechanics. Tensors is as I told you, a field of mathematics. See, when you deal with n-dimensional spaces, like when you deal with, I don't know if you know about it now, there are like 5, 6 or 8 dimensions or something. So when you do all those dimensions, you put each dimension by a tensor. So I, J, K, when you do this theoretical physics, that is where this comes up actually. In theoretical physics and all that, when you deal with I, J, K, L, M, and like that different dimensions and all, it comes up. For us, it's fluid mechanics. We have only 3 dimensions, I, J, K. So I'll say that I represents X, J represents Y, and Z, K, J represents Y, and K represents Z, and all we can, and the only thing you have to remember is that when in a product, okay, in a product, when I is coming twice, or J is coming twice, or K is coming twice, it's no longer a tensor, it's actually the summation for all the 3 directions. That is tensor, as much as I know, yeah.
But sir, in continued equations, we like del u by del x plus del v by del y plus del w by del z, we equate it equal to del ui by del xi.
Is equal to 0.
Yes, sir, that is equal to 0. But sir, the I itself contains all 3 directions.
No, not like that. If it's not like that, that's what I was telling you. If you write like this, okay, when you have I repeated in an expression, in one expression, if you have I repeated, this does not mean dou u1 by dou x1 equal to 0. When this is known as a dummy index. When an index is repeated, then it is known as a dummy index. Dummy index means it's no longer an index. It's not dou u1 by dou x1. It's not dou ux by dou, you know what I'm trying to write, dou y. It is actually equal to dou u by dou x plus dou uv by dou y plus dou w by dou z, and that is equal to 0. So dou ui by dou xi, it doesn't mean that I has three things, or it means I, j, and k, x, y, and z all are included in that dou ui by dou xi. It's not just one term. It's when it is repeated. Otherwise, it represents different terms. Remember that properly, and it should be okay. Now a little bit of we go back into some more of the theory.
Therefore, tomorrow test we will have these kind of simplifications or something else.
That is what I am thinking. Okay, that is a good question. So for tomorrow's test, I can put, but the problem is if I put this, you have time only to do this. I won't be able to ask anything else. What you do
Yes,
is,
sir. I think for this, sir, we need at least some more time because this is actually getting very difficult to understand a lot.
Yeah. You are saying you want more time to study this.
So, in case if you are going to give these simplification, then we'll surely need some time, sir.
Okay, then I'll do one thing. I'll put the test next week. Okay. I think I need to put this thing. I have to have this in that, and it should be this. We are supposed to have continuous evaluation. What it means really is that what they're saying is you take some portions, you put a test on that, then take some more portions, put a test on that, keep going like that. That is how it is done. Instead of that mid semester and end semester, this is how it is done like this. So what we'll do is we'll have the test next week. 1 week, I think we should be able to do something next Friday. I'll put. So you have. Yeah, I think that should be okay. That much only you can read and just understand this. Read it and understand it. That's all. There is nothing to by heart. I am not going to ask you to by heart anything. What I just said, all these things, if you have understood, then. But it takes some time. It is actually very.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The thing is, we have understood this in fragments, but right now we are not able to combine it. Like
Yeah.
so many
But
different things are there.
what you can do is only means whatever you can do in 1 week only. No, we have to move forward. So next week I'll put the test. Next Friday I'll put the test, and by that time you just go through it slowly. And I'm not going to ask you some very complicated these kind of things. It's not required. But I'll ask something based on this kind of simplification. Only one or two questions, one question or so from this.
Yes.
It'll be, so you should be able to do it, I think. Should be okay. Okay. So now that part is over. That part I'm not going to again. So this is now you will have. Now what we have usually in our studies. So you know that we have what we call as the total quantity. Okay, UI. This is a mean quantity. I'll use, since I'm going to follow this book for the time being, this will be our notation. So this will be the instantaneous value. This is the mean value, and this is the fluctuating value. Okay, now we have this. Now usually this thing, this expression, we have an expression like this. Okay, half ui square plus uj square plus uk square. Oh, not this, sorry. What did I write? Fluctuating. Okay, for the fluctuating quantities, remember one thing, I told you that the mean of the fluctuating is 0, but the mean of the fluctuating square is not 0. They are not going to cancel each other out. They are going to add up, and the mean of the fluctuating square is, it's basically the RMS value, root mean square value. So that is what this is. So when you have something like this, this is something known as, this is a problem actually here. I'll actually, in the textbook, there are two terms used. Okay, be very careful when you read it. There is a K like this, and there is a kappa like this. Both look exactly same. In that notebook also, sometimes it looks very similar, but there are two terms. This is actually this K. I am going to put, this is confusing. No, so this I am going to put it as K. Yes. Sorry, it's the phone ringing. So I'm just, okay. So K, so there is K, and this is, so this is known as the turbulent kinetic energy. Turbulent kinetic energy. K is known as half ui square plus uj square plus uk prime, ui prime squared plus uj prime squared plus uk prime squared. This fellow is known as the turbulent kinetic energy. Okay, it is usually designated in textbooks as K. This long this thing is there, and small k basically. So it I'll designate it as K. So this is known as turbulent kinetic. Why I'm saying is it's very important. Remember this. This is the turbulent kinetic energy. It's one of the most important things. This is one of the most important things in. Just 1 minute. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. I was just. Okay. So this is known as the turbulent kinetic energy, and this is given like this. Then now there is another term that comes up, which is known as kappa. This kappa is actually known as a wave number. This kappa is known as a wave number. The wave number is actually usually designated as, kappa is designated as 2 pi by L, or in our studies we have studied it, we have written it as L, where L is the this is, we did mention it, but if you don't remember, I'll write it again, integral length scale. So basically you have kappa equal to 2 pi by L. Okay, so 2 pi by L. So these are two different terms. Now what you need to understand, I don't know if you know Fourier transform or not. It is something that you don't need any Fourier transform here, but you should know what is Fourier transform. What is it doing? If you know, this part will become easy. Otherwise, slightly it'll be a catch. So when you take, when you say K, you're actually talking about in the wave wave in the wavelength or the length scale time period domain. Okay. When you are talking about K, we are talking about in the wave number time period domain, wavelength time period domain. Now this can also be talked about by taking a Fourier transform and putting it in the kappa nu domain, where kappa is the wave number and nu is the frequency. That is why you should, that's why I'm saying you, because I don't want to go into Fourier transform, how they, that expressions of integral and all that. Believe me, that is a big part of turbulence, this Fourier transform, but I'm not taking that. We don't want that kind of details for this course. So but there is a wave numbers, there is a wavelength space like this wavelength space, and there is a, or this is the length time space, and there is a frequency wave number space. So like that. Now, if it's clear, we usually write energy as energy of kappa. Energy of kappa. Energy is, which means the energy associated with a particular wave number. E of kappa is the energy associated with a particular wave number. Now, if you have understood this, then you should have no problem in understanding this expression, what I am writing here. Do you understand this or not?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand this properly?
Basic
Means,
basics of Fourier transformation, theoretically we can
if you
relate
know
this.
that, I don't want to go into that. That's why. So I'm just going to write this here. What it means is that if you take the energy in each wavelength, each wave number, if you sum up the energies of each wave number and totally you sum it up, you get the total kinetic energy of, and this total kinetic energy at a point. So total kinetic energy at a point is a sum total of the energy at that point in various wave numbers. So one position, the energy is due to the energy due to various wave numbers, and if you do all the energy, if you do all the wave numbers together totally, this is known as the total turbulent kinetic energy at that point. So I'm not going
Sir,
into that.
sir, one
Yeah.
question on this is that, sir, what is the advantage of changing this energy into kappa and frequency, not instead of?
That actually we'll come to. That is very important, very useful. I'll tell you a very simple thing. Suppose you have some turbulence, and you want to extract out some frequencies. You understand what I'm saying? If
Yes.
you want a machine, if you are making machines, they do this. This is not very difficult. You can do a machine that can extract out certain frequencies. So when you convert it into, so what you do is this total frequency, you will convert it into, you will mathematically convert it into different frequencies, and all those frequencies which you want to be removed or taken, you take those frequencies and Fourier transform it back, and you will get the signal with those particular frequencies, or those
This is
particular
like
frequencies removed.
sampling a radio signal
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, something like that. So this is done in, basically this becomes something like your electrical engineering. So they like that. It's something like that. So you can do this kind of thing with frequencies. It makes very big difference. Like the turbulence can be completely, what should I say, disentangled, and it can be put together back again. The whole thing. It's very nice. So it has many advantages, many uses. So that is the purpose of this, but we don't need it. I'm not going into all this. This is just to, but this you should, if it'll be good if you can understand this, if you understand this. Otherwise we'll have some problems. Then there are some expressions also which I have said which should be useful to you. This please remember. Okay, where u is any u is the general order of magnitude. This is an order of magnitude, and usually this is represented. This is representing the turbulent velocity field. This is u. This u is representing the order of magnitude of the turbulent velocity. So a very good way of writing this would be. So you can best thing to write is like this. This is this k. This k raised to half. You understand? It's just written as k raised to half. Order of magnitude. The whole thing is order of magnitude. Half is there. Don't bring half and all into it. It's an order of magnitude. So U cube by L. So this becomes epsilon is equal to K power 3 by 2 by L. So this also you remember. Then one more thing we'll do and we'll stop for today.
What is U, sir, here?
U is the order of magnitude of the turbulent velocity. This one. Where is it? This thing. Okay. Okay. Then just one more small thing and we'll stop. I did tell you that there was something known as Kolmogorov length scale. Usually we have therefore two length scales that we use usually in turbulence. At least in the level at which this course runs, there are only two length scales. One is L and one is eta, where L is known as the integral length scale, which represents the length scale of the largest eddies. Integral length scale, which represents the length scale of the largest eddies. And there is an eta, which I told you represents the Kolmogorov length scale. So L, eta, we also described. This is something you had to do, which is why if you are not, means if you have done it yourself, you will remember it. Eta is what, nu cube by epsilon. I think it's this expression. I don't, nu cube by epsilon raised to 1 by 4. I think this is the expression. So eta, Kolmogorov length scale came to nu cube by epsilon raised to 1 by 4. There is an expression like this. If you do L by eta, it becomes if you do this, what does it come to? I think.
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, power
Yes.
of nu should be 3 by 4.
Correct. I think it comes to this, okay? Some kind of Reynolds number raised to 3 by 4, which is Reynolds number. So it must be something like the U for this is known as turbulent Reynolds number, first of all. So this is known as the it is not the Reynolds number. It is the Reynolds number, but it is for the turbulent quantity, turbulent Reynolds number. It is usually written as RET, Reynolds number. It will be UL by nu, right? U is K raised to half L by nu. K raised to half L by nu. Okay. This expression is known as the turbulent Reynolds number. So this one. This turbulent Reynolds number also has a value of about, I'm talking about ship flows. If you are taking something in the ship or any kind of vessel, it should be about 10 raised to 6 or 10 raised to 7. Okay. So for ships, I'll say it is about 10 raised to 6. It can 10 raised to 6 to 10 raised to 8. So roughly in this range, it will range this Reynolds number total. So basically, what the interesting thing to get from this is this. That is, let us assume it's 10 raised to 8 Reynolds number. So Reynolds number of 10 raised to 8 into 3 by 4. How much is it? 2, 6. 10 raised to 6. Now what is this? I am saying that L by eta is 10 raised. So the largest length scale, if eta is the smallest length scale 1, the largest length scale L is 10 raised to 6. Now think of it in this fashion. See, suppose you are discretizing it. I know you don't know anything about discretization right now, but I'm just telling you, just use a common sense a little bit. It's a very simple thing. If you are discretizing it, let us suppose you want to discretize it from eta to L. Discretize it means you take the length scale. Suppose you take the length scale as eta, your delta x. There will be, when you are running the simulations, there will always be a delta x, delta y, delta z, right? That is how it's a computational fluid dynamics. We are not running differential equations. Differential equations become become delta equations. So when you have that delta x, delta y, delta z, if you take it to be eta, okay, if you take the smallest, if you take delta x to be eta, then you need to take up to 10 raised to 6 times the 10 raised to 6 of this delta x. Means if it is delta x is 1, then the large, you need to take 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10 raised to 6. 10 raised to 6, 10 raised to 6 intervals. Now, that is one thing. Now, very rarely are we going to do one-dimensional simulations, isn't it? Nobody is going to do one-dimensional simulations. So L by eta is 1, is 10 raised to 6. Then what we have is three-dimensional simulations, delta x into delta y into delta z. And what do you do in computation? I'll just tell you, in computational fluid dynamics, what we do is we take small volumes. Delta x, delta y, delta z are given values, and we take small volumes. And these volumes keep adding up to make the whole domain. So if you make these volumes, then then you can have up to 10 raised to 6 into 10 raised to 6 into 10 raised to 6 for all the three dimensions. So you see how big a computational effort is going into DNS. This process by which, suppose you take delta x to be the smallest length scale of Kolmogorov length scale, you need this much. What is this equal to? 10 raised to 18, no? 10 raised to 18, 10 raised to 18 levels of delta x. Delta x and 10 raised to 18, 10 raised to 18 times delta x. Okay. So when you have it like that, you are going to have a whole range. We are going to have a lot of difficulty trying to put this into computational form. This process by which you put the smallest length scale as the Kolmogorov length scale as the delta x is basically known as a DNS. That kind of simulation is known as a DNS. I did show in the slides that I showed in the last class also DNS. It is known as direct numerical simulation. Right now, you can do direct numerical simulations of only things like if there is a cylinder, flow over a cylinder. If there is a backward facing step, a flow over a backward facing step means a flow over a step, or a small jet. You have a jet, you have a small jet, water entering into the fluid. So the small jet. Very, very simple cases of flows are only can be done because of the, even with the huge, from what I know, some of these defense labs in the US and all have very huge computational power. Okay, they still can run only very simple cases using DNS. But remember that the DNS, if it is run, you get a more or less same as in the nature. You get the flow just as exactly same as in nature. You can get turbulence, but obviously we cannot do that here. There is no chance of doing anything, especially for a complex ship-shaped flow. So what we do is we have some other methods. That is what we are going to study probably in the next few classes. But right now I'll stop here. This is basically why the whole process of computational fluid dynamics is expensive, because L by eta is L by eta cubed is 10 raised to 18. 10 raised to 18 times it is. Okay, so you're okay. I'll stop it with this here. I'm going to close this. So tomorrow, okay, tomorrow, so there is no exam. So exam will be next. Exam will be next week, next Friday. I'll put it. You please go through this. I'll take some more. I'll post some more portions. I'll take tomorrow. And okay, where is this?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, have you got any information regarding the question I asked you?
Oh, that no, I was sorry, I was busy busy with some other things. Are you